Welcome to PA Timber Goose. Last day of rifle season. Non-eventful one today. Had a lot of interesting things happen to me today. It was definitely a challenge for me mentally. Hunting spot number one I backed into. Closed my eyes for a few minutes and a big Dodge Ram pulled in next to me. He had a four-wheeler in the back. It was about the size of a small car. And I'm guessing he had a handicap access permit for the area that I was in. He had a very bright LED headlight on his head. So I was trying to close my eyes for a few minutes in the car. His headlight had that much power where it actually lit up the entire inside of my car. And it wasn't even like he was trying to not shine the light in the car, because that's what he kept doing. It was kind of annoying. It was like being in front of it was like being in front of a car with his high beams on. And he made no attempt to not shine that headlight into the car. Then he put the ramps on the back of his Dodge Ram and backed his 4x4 out of there. So I knew I wasn't going to see any deer at that spot. In the past, I've hunted spots and there were four-wheelers about a mile away and I could hear them running. And all the deer ran past me because they could hear them too. Anytime you have a four-wheeler in the woods, the deer are going to be gone. They can hear that before we can from miles away. If you ever had any bad experiences like that hunting in the mountains, it's cool to ride back in there, but it does scare the deer away. They know what that sound is. It doesn't belong in the mountains. So that was the end of hunting spot number one. Pulled in hunting spot number two. A few other trucks pulled in. Started walking up the side of the mountain. Heard some voices from the bottom, and I thought somebody maybe had some walkie-talkies. And they had the volume turned up. And two individuals came up the trail behind me and another hunter. The other hunter went to the right. He assumed that the other two individuals were backpackers because one of them had a very large backpack on his back to the left of the area that I wanted to hunt. So I hunted a timber cut for about 2 or 3 hours through the picky briars. And they were very noisy up to the left of me. I made it about halfway through the picky briars and I could see them two standing at the top of the hill. And of course, both of them had a black Carhartt on the top. In the bottom, they had tan Carhartts on, and both of them had white gloves on. So from where I was standing, they both looked like two deer because they were running through the pickers doing this, and all you could see was their white gloves bouncing and their white Carhartt pants, and one of them actually had a white spot on the back of his hat. So that also looked like the back end of a whitetail. I put the binoculars on them and watched what they were doing. I still could not figure out what they were doing. They looked like they were looking for something. And they got in between me and a few other hunters at about sun up this morning, and they were very loud. You could hear the voices echoing. So I started to make my way over to them. It was very cold. Everything was covered with ice, and I was walking across the timber cut, and I stepped on a log that was covered with ice and did a face plant. Luckily, I did not break my glasses or my phone, but I had a lot of cuts on my hand. I had blood dripping all over me. Kind of gave me about a 5 or 10 minute count there, rang my bell. And I continued up the hill, not knowing that my rifle went flying when I hit the ground and did a face plant. So when I got closer to them, I tried to talk to both of them and ask them if they were hunting. So I don't know if they could understand me or not, and they proceeded to take off down the hill. Somebody could have shot both of them because there again you have brown and white, and never wear white gloves and brown pants in the middle of hunting season because you look like a deer, especially when you're doing this and you're jumping over logs. It looks like a whitetail. So after I got to the top of the hill, I realized my rifle fell off somewhere. So I had to go back and look for it. I had to figure out where I fell because now I walked about 100 yards from where I fell. So I started a grid search and went up and down about every 10 yards this way. When I got in the middle there, I have an extra vest in my hunting pack I put in the middle, and I put my pack there and marked that spot to continue my grid search. And after I made a complete pass long ways, then I started sideways, back and forth, and eventually I found the area that I fell, and there was my rifle. It was scooped down. The stock was sticking up. That's what I saw, was a green stock. In all the dead wood that they cut, because the dead wood is a silver color. Two people dressed like deer took off down over the mountains and never was seen again. So that was failure number 2. Then I came to the Wildcat, State Game Lands 257. The Wildcat has been logged out on both sides, clear cut from the power line all the way back, and they're supposed to burn this sometime next year in the spring. So hunting spot number 3 that I wanted to check out is no more. Let me turn the camera around here, and we'll take a quick look at that. It's kind of sickening, actually, if you look. There is nowhere to hunt anymore. The Game Commission flattened this entire mountain. Let's take a look behind the parking lot here. They devastated this entire area. All right, let's take a look behind the parking lot. There's nothing left here to hunt. They pretty much flattened almost the entire State Game Lands here, all the way back up to the club. Kind of mind-boggling to me. Doesn't make any sense. This is where I learned how to hunt up here, and it's always been thick. Lots of mountain laurel in here. Lots of deer hiding in that mountain laurel, but it is no more. Looks like an F4 tornado went through here. They call it habitat improvement, but you can leave me some comments down in the comment section if you've hunted this area before they logged it. This area used to be packed with cars in the pumpkin patch. There was no shortage of deer in here at one time, and the habitat was exceptional. Everybody was pulling deer out of here. You could hunt in this area and see deer all day. This was the go-to spot. Sorry if the camera's bouncing here, it's a little chilly. Then after you were done dragging your deer out of here, everybody would go down to Heisler's, and we would show each other their buck and their doe, have some burgers together, and head on to the butcher, and you might see some of the people that you saw up here again at the processors. Building better habitat for wildlife. I'm not sure if this actually is better habitat. This is a pretty sweet area, and I don't know why they cut it down on both sides. It's not a clear cut, but there are a lot of dead trees in here. This was a very pristine area and a great place for a deer to hide because it was so thick from the mountain laurel. So we shall see. We'll keep an eye on this area. We'll go down and check out Devil's Hole. Before I go home here today, we'll take a look at that, see how that area has also regenerated. Our local wildlife agency is managing, for other species other than deer. Their current policy is to reduce the deer herd down to 3 deer per square mile. Talked to 5 hunters today, parking lot here where I was sitting. Some of these are older hunters like myself. And they remember how many deer we used to take out of here, how much fun it was. We always saw deer, and while we were standing here, they put on 4 drives. There was a Tacoma coming down the road that passed me that had about 9 young guys in the back, 2 guys in the front. So while we were standing here talking, they pulled in with 2 other truckloads of guys, and they put a drive on the left side and a drive on the right. The young guys went down the right side of me. There was about 10 of them, and the older guys went down the left, and the trucks parked all the way at the end. I'm not sure if they went to the power line or all the way out to Wildcat Road. And then when they got to the other end, they all came back in the trucks, got in the rest of their vehicles, and then left. So they put a drive on both sides. There had to be about 15 guys. There was like all the old guys on the left and all the young guys on the right. Most of the woods are going back here, so I'm not even sure if this is huntable. We shall keep an eye on this area throughout the years and see what it looks like. Why they did this much damage to this area, I have no idea. If you want to come see it for yourself, come up to the Wildcat, check out 257, and you can tell me if this was habitat improvement or habitat destruction. I have no idea. This also happened at Clark's Creek when I went back to sit on my hunting spot, and it was not there anymore. Clark's Creek, they have to actually hit 2 of my hunting spots. They were clear cut all the way to the ground and vanished. They didn't cut any hemlocks down in here. Most of everything went down here. A lot of the trees cut in here are the oak and the infestation. So they're going to burn all this in the spring. So we shall see. They plowed a lot of dirt up in there with the heavy equipment. It's not even flat. It kind of looks like a moonscape. If you walk across that, you're probably going to do a face plant in there like I did this morning. Never in my life did I think I would ever lose my rifle, but I guess I hit the ground pretty hard this morning, and it rang my bell a little bit. My rifle went flying, so always be careful in the woods. All right. So that was my day. 3 strikes and you're out, but that was a lot of fun talking to the other hunters in the parking lot. I was probably out there talking for about 3 hours, discussing rifles and deer pictures, and a lot of strange things going on with our deer management program and our habitat management. Where have all our deer gone? I have no idea. You can leave me some thoughts in the comment section how you think our deer herd should be managed. Where is our plan going wrong? Definitely not seeing a lot of deer this year. Not like we used to, but I have seen a few nice buck, a couple bear. So let's go down to 222, and we'll take another look at that area that was logged out, and we'll be right back in a few minutes. The hemlock trees seem to be growing really well. It's really starting to close in. They've grown a lot in the past 4 years, probably because they're getting more sunlight. But a lot of the oak trees that they left standing seem to die from the infestation. There's one there. Turn around this side here. There's another dead oak. Got one there that's dead. And a few other ones that are at some stage of dying. So did it increase the infestation? I'm not really sure. But maybe someday the hemlocks will close in this area and it'll be lush and green like it used to be at one time. Doesn't look too bad. A lot of the food mass is gone due to how many mature oaks were taken out of here that were dropping most of the mast. There are a lot of dead ones still. There's 2 there also. So you can let me know down in the comments section, habitat improvement or habitat destruction. Would it be fine if they didn't timber this area out? And the oak trees are still dropping all the mast that was here before they cut it. Because unfortunately, a lot of times after they cut this, the standing oak trees also die. They seem to die faster. I don't know if it's because there's less moisture in the ground or because they also get infested and come down. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you harvested a big buck this year. As always, give this video a like. It helps other people see this video. Hit that subscribe button to help my channel grow. And thanks for watching PA Timber Ghost. We will see you on the next video.